Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell here, of course. We're now joined by Taylor Gray from the ARCA Series East. He drives the 17 Ford for David Gilliland Racing. Taylor, how are you, bud?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Good. What a start for you this season at New Smyrna. How do you think it went for you?
I think it was okay. We showed that we had speed, which I think that's kind of what I got out of New Smyrna. We should have won. We didn't. It is what it is. We're going on to Five Flags and just let them know that we're there.
Yeah. So obviously ARCA East is, a lot of people are picking you to take as the favorite because, Ty Gibbs isn't there. Sam Mayer isn't there. There's some tough competitors. You got Sammy Smith, Jack Wood, Daniel Dye, Mason, a lot of these guys that are in it. And of course, we saw what you were able to do last year with DGR, what was then DGR Crosley. How does that help you get ready for these races? And you're going to places that you have been before, talking about Five Flags.
Yeah, I just think I'm going into this year with more experience than anybody in the field. I mean, that's sad to say, but kind of is how it is, right? So I'm the youngest, but I have the most experience. So I think that's one thing I'll have to my advantage. The 18 car's still really good. From how Ty left it, and the 21 is still pretty good from how Sam left it. So I don't think we're counting anybody out there. As we could see, Sammy just had the better race car in New Smyrna than we did. So, and even Joey East, my teammate, don't count him out either. He ran really good for his debut in New Smyrna, for his East debut in New Smyrna. So I don't think we're counting out any options here. I'm not even getting close to saying that I have this deal locked up at all, because I don't even close to having it locked up, right? There's still quite a bit of competition. I think it'll be close. We're a lot better than we were last year, performance wise. So I think it'll be a little different this year.
Yeah. So this is your second year kind of racing in these big ARCA cars. What's the biggest thing that you've learned in the last 2 years of running in this series?
Just being patient and not rushing yourself. Every time someone asks me that, I say the same thing over and over again. But just being patient, not rushing the gas pedal, and kind of just saving your stuff. It's a lot harder to save your stuff in these big heavy cars because they're so much heavier. You're asking the tire to do a lot more. So kind of the same answer.
Okay, so before the season, they had a little bit of change over at DGR. Of course, I said it was DGR Crosley before, but it's now David Gilliland Racing, and your grandfather, Johnny Gray, of course, legendary driver himself, and of course in NHRA, of course, your father, Shane Gray, and then of course your brother, Tanner. What was it like to have your grandfather invest in DGR, knowing that, you've said before, I don't know where you would be if it wasn't for your grandfather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely I think it was a big step towards making DGR a different company. We can kind of get more resources and do things that we need to do better as an organization, and getting better people in and kind of cleaning out the shop, and kind of getting the people where we need them, and getting the better people in DGR. So, it's not, the hard part's not getting the equipment. That's the easiest part. Hard part's getting the people.
Yeah. So when did you, I know you've had a pretty successful career with this, with racing that you're doing. What's been the, going back and looking back at your career, can you name the biggest, what's been the best moment so far of your racing career?
Man, it's hard. There's a lot of good moments in racing. I can't really say there's a best moment in my career, because I'm sure there's much better ones to come, right? So that's a hard question to ask, or a hard question to answer. But right now at this moment, I would have to say it's probably winning at Kern. You know, it was probably one of the smaller, not saying smaller, but not one of the bigger races I've won in my career. But just kind of being able to go out there and come back from Roseville, I guess is what made it special to me.
Yeah. Has it been tougher racing this year with the pandemic?
I think it's been the same as last year. I think last year was more of a struggle because we didn't really know what was going on. We didn't really know what to do. And then this year, I think it's going a little bit more smoothly because we're kind of used to everything, kind of getting in the motion of things. But I mean, nobody wants to walk around the racetrack with a mask on, right? So it is tough still. Just kind of hoping this thing will go away pretty soon.
Yeah. So, you're also going to be racing some truck starts as well, Taylor. What's that going to be like for you? And do you know what races you're running yet?
I'm running all the short tracks and then 2 road course races. Just going into it the same mindset as I have everywhere else I go. Get real expectations and make the best of every opportunity.
So when you look at driving one of these trucks, it's likely that you're just going to be, because there's going to be no practice and there's going to be no qualifying at most of these races. You're running a truck for the first time. Many drivers have been in that situation before. What's it going to be like for you going in there, not knowing, I mean, you've been some of these tracks you may have been in an ARCA car before, but not in a truck. But does that kind of carry over to like notes wise?
Yeah, I the only thing that really is different about the trucks is they're way more aero sensitive and they have way more side force. The aerodynamics on from a truck to an ARCA car are way different, not even comparable. But I mean, everything inside the truck and the ARCA car is similar, right? You're gonna take the same characteristics and the same things you've learned from ARCA car and go apply them to a truck. But just Ford Performance giving me some time for my first race is giving me Richmond, so just giving me some time for Richmond and kind of just getting prepared as much as possible, and then we'll see how it is when we drop the green flag.
Yeah. So, when a lot of people when you're young and stuff, like when did you, I mean, obviously you come from a racing family, so it almost was destined to be that you'd be in this, but you've taken a different path than your brother. Of course, he went into the NHRA side of things for a while. Then he came over to, driving in these, late models and now the trucks. You've been strictly stock cars, not straight line things. Has that kind of helped you, not just sticking maybe to one kind of discipline of cars?
I mean, my personal opinion, I mean, despite from drag racing, because you don't really gain anything from drag racing or circle track racing, right? But I think getting anything you can get into that turns right and left is an advantage. But I've been asked this question a lot, but just I never really had an interest in driving in drag racing. So I mean, it's different for me. But I mean, I'm usually anything I can get in that turns right and left and that has a seat in it and seat belts, right? So I think if you're a good enough driver, you can you can switch your driving styles up to you can go drive a super late model and then come back to a big heavy car or truck and be fine if you're a good enough driver. So I think that's what I take pride in that's one of the things I take pride in the most in myself is I can go get in whatever I want to and be fast and then go back to an ARCA car or a truck and still be fast and come back to my old ways. So I think that's kind of what that's one of the things I take pride in most is just being able to switch.
All right. Okay, so I've done this with a few other drivers that I've had on the podcast, but let's kind of get to know Taylor Gray a little bit. I'm gonna ask you some questions, just kind of basic getting to know you stuff. You ready for it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man. Um, Favorite racetrack and why?
Phoenix because well, we ran pretty good there. And the restarts are so much fun there. Just getting down on the dog leg and being 4 or 5 wide all the time is super fun. It's a unique racetrack.
Favorite vacation spot?
Probably Turks and Caicos.
Nice. Do you have do you watch any stick and ball sports? And if so, what's your favorite team?
Football and Seattle Seahawks is my favorite team.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Why them?
Well, so I'm from New Mexico, right? So I didn't have a favorite team.
Right.
And whenever I was younger, my oldest brother Bryce, his favorite team was Seattle, and I didn't really know anything about football whenever I was little. So I was like, oh yeah, that's my favorite team too. So I kind of used to just copy everything my brothers would do whenever I was younger.
What is your favorite meal?
That's hard. Like just favorite type of food?
Yeah.
Mexican food.
Nice.
Either that or sushi. I really like sushi.
Is there a go-to restaurant for Mexican food or sushi or anything like that around?
In North Carolina,
Yeah.
the Mexican food's not the same. I will say that. But the Mexican food, there's one spot that's pretty close called Burrito Loco. It's a little hole in the wall.
Yeah.
It's really good. And then sushi, Ease Fusion Ease or something like that in Burkdale.
Nice. That one too. Do you have any racing superstitions?
No, I don't really believe in superstitions or anything like that. If you're prepared enough, then I don't really think you have to worry about that kind of stuff.
We noticed a lot, it's always interesting to me because when drivers are on the grid, some of them are more, talking to each other and some are just, keeping to themselves. Drivers with, AirPods, headphones. I've seen you with headphones before. Do you always listen to pre-race music? Like just kind of keep to yourself and then talk to everybody? What's your mindset before the race? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I get over with practice, I put my AirPods in and kind of just mellow out and don't really talk to anybody. The only person I'll really talk to is Ty Gibbs. We've been best friends for the past 8-9 years. So that's really the only person I'll really talk to at the racetrack. I don't really have the patience to go out and talk to other people, I guess you should say. So, just keeping myself and staying keeping my head very mellow and kind of quiet.
Okay, what are you listening to in the AirPods? Any classics? What's your go-to jam?
I'm mostly just rap music to kind of keep me pumped up a little bit, not really just kind of drown everybody out. Now whenever I'm not at the racetrack, I like to listen to it's like more of like a rock country. I don't like pure country. It's more of like a rock country, like Co Wetzel. That's my favorite guy.
Nice. Do you take a pre-race nap?
I do not. No, I can't even take naps whenever I'm at home. I struggle with that. I feel like I'm wasting time during the day and it freaks me out.
Can you sleep in cars or planes?
I can sleep on planes if I'm on a red eye. I can sleep on cars if I'm driving through the night. It's kind of one of those things where like if it's during the time, I freak out. I can't sleep.
Nice. Do you have any pets?
I have 5 dogs. I have a pit bull, a French bulldog, and 3 teacup Yorkies.
That is one crazy house.
Oh yeah.
What is something we don't know about Ty Gibbs?
That everyone on social media and stuff like that. You know, not everyone. You know, he still does have a really good fan base and stuff like that. But people take him for people see him for, I don't know how to explain this. People just give him a bad rep. He's actually a really good kid. You know, he'd do anything. If I was stranded on the side of the road, he'd be the first person to call. So he'd do anything for you. It just sucks for him, and it also it's upsetting to me that he gets such a, like, some people just make him out to be a bad kid when he's really not.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense. Trying to think. What would be your dream car?
I got asked this actually last night, and I struggled answering it because I really don't know.
You ever
I-
want- have you ever wanted to drive one of those new, well, maybe that white Bronco that Ford's got now?
I've actually seen it before. I haven't even really thought about it, to be honest with you. I think I actually have wanted to take the new Raptor out and go get through like the dunes and like sand dunes and stuff. I think we were pretty fun. But absolute dream car would probably be a new Ford GT.
When's the last time you signed an autograph?
Jeez. Probably 2 weeks ago.
Really? Where at?
Yeah. Someone sent me fan mail.
Nice. So that's always good. Always good to still get fan mail, even though that, you know, fans can't get close to drivers and all that. But
That's right.
so what let's see. Do you have a racetrack that you not prefer or not go to, or do you not like a racetrack right now or right now?
I try to like all the racetracks I go to. Yeah, actually, someone who taught me that was Brandon McReynolds. Whenever we used to work together last year,
Nice.
is to you never want to not like the places you go to, because whenever you start kind of not liking the places you go to, then you start getting in your own head and you don't run good. So I try to like all the places I go to and keep open-minded.
Yeah. And last one, what's something people don't know about Taylor Gray?
That's hard because there's not a lot about me. Um, well, on ARCA, the ARCA like announcers say I'm from Denver, North Carolina, but I'm actually from New Mexico.
Really?
I am.
So like, how did you, because I mean, I know that you live in North Carolina right now. I think they also say that Tanner's from there too.
Yep.
So New Mexico, how long did you live in New Mexico?
We moved from New Mexico in 2010, and I've lived in North Carolina ever since.
Nice. All right. Well, that was fun. All right, Taylor, thank you so much for spending some time with us, and we'll talk to you sometime later on in the year.
Sounds good. Thank you.